Hi guys, welcome back to the Cinematic Mike channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 2022's the Oscars, and I'm pretty sure most of you already heard from yesterday, from the past weeks maybe. Um, and I gotta say that I am really upset with the things that I've been hearing. At first I thought it was kind of funny, and then I'm actually pissed now. Yesterday when the news hit, there I got this whole like freaking rage, and it's still going on till today. When I heard the news yesterday of what was going on with the Oscars, and you know what, it's kind of funny because I actually been wanting to make a video of the Oscars for the past like weeks and or 2 months or 3 months, and I've been bugging someone to actually do it with me, a friend of mine. I wanted to do it with him because I he knows that I kind of like the Oscars. I kiss the Oscars ass probably, that. And I have friends that don't like the Oscars. They don't believe in that shit, and they think it's stupid and this and that. So I thought it'd be cool to have someone that has a different view from mine. I thought it'd be cool to have different opinions going with each other, trying to see what we can respond to one another. I also wanted to do it because my views on the Oscars were starting to change in the past like 2 years, I guess you could say. Starting to kind of go into the route where I see the people that are talking about it a lot now, or the ones that don't like it and what they think of it. My views are kind of going that way a little bit the past 2 years or so. So I kind of want to talk about that to show my friend that my views are kind of going a little bit in your direction, maybe. I'm not sure if it's entirely true or just somewhat. But also, like a lot of people, there are people there that don't give a shit about the Oscars, and they have their own thoughts on the Oscars. So I thought about it, and I thought it'd be an interesting video to do it with them. Unfortunately, I had to do this quick because this just came out, and I'm like, I have to do a video on this. I can't just like, I have to do a video on this. And I was like, well, I guess I can't wait. So I got to do this. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. So look, the videos that I wanted to say, my views on the Oscars were kind of changing a bit in the past years. As I said, I started seeing kind of a little bit through it and reading interviews and all that. I can go back to something that I always go back to where I started, where I kind of was like an origin to this whole thing, was in 2013 when I think Joaquin Phoenix made the film the Master, I believe. And he ended up saying that he didn't want the Oscar. He was nominated for an Oscar, I think, and he didn't want it, or I don't think he wanted to show up. And around that time, I was really into film, just as I am now, and all that. And I was following the Oscars. I've been seeing the Oscars since I was young, and I followed it through until like now and all that. And he said like he didn't. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it seemed like he didn't want the Oscar. He was like against it and all that. He didn't. I don't think he elaborated too much at that time. But I remember my thought when I said it, when I was reading the article, the interviews and all that online and all that. I was like, why is he being a dick? I was like, why is he being like fucked up? I'm like, and I was all like, I'd be happy if someone freaking gave me an Oscar, nominated me for my work and all that. I'd be happy about that stuff. And I followed his career through like in interviews and all that. When he's promoting a film, they have to interview him and all that. And you start learning that he's an actor that doesn't like compliments and all that. And I think what he was trying to do at the time was saying how those things, the Oscar, the trophy and all that, can get to your ego, um, can make you seem like more important than others and all that. And so I didn't see that at that time. At that time, I was still like, you know what? Why is he being a dick? Why I'd be freaking happy. And me, I'm not going to admit, like, I think it's everyone who's into film since they're young and watching the Oscars. It's someone's dream to actually have an Oscar in their hand and all that. I think when I was younger, in the past years, maybe or a few years ago, I would have been freaking happy to be in the business and get an Oscar myself. But I think about it now, and I think my view has changed on it. And I think it goes back to what he was saying at that time. And you're like, oh yeah, I think he was kind of saying something right about this type of thing. And it's not just the Oscars. I think it's award shows, and that's what a lot of people say that are against the Oscars. They're like, I'm against award shows. I don't give a shit about award shows. But there are people that say the award shows are kind of messed up. There are other articles. I think I've read one of Ed Sheeran. And there are things that I've seen myself, like there an Oscar. I think it was when Black Klansman. Was it Black Klansman? And I love that film. Spike Lee, one of my favorite directors. But one thing that pissed me off in that Oscar was the moment when Spike Lee actually he got up and walked out like pissed off that he didn't get an Oscar. I think he walked out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he got up and then left because he was mad that he didn't get the Oscar and some another one did. And maybe for some, yeah, maybe Black Klansman was better than that one, maybe not. But still, to do that, I was like, it kind of showed me a way of what these people are talking about. It's like they seem more like important than the other one, And I'm like, I don't know. And then I think I read an article where Eminem talked about like was it the Grammys, I think, where he was talking about how, and a lot of people say this, and I think it's kind of true. It's not really the people that do these award shows, not the producers, I guess, the more on the outside, the ones that are looking at it for money, not for, they know that they're getting money through the views of people that watch and all that, so they're putting these people against each other, like, and I think Eminem talked about that, like, don't use me for your like money and all that and put me against this person just because, it's just an uncomfortable feeling to be put against another person. And I think that happens in real life when you're in competition. It's cool, but then I think it can hurt someone's feelings too, like, being with other people and being selected into like a limited of people, and then one of you gets selected, because then you make the other person say like, oh man, my thing was crap and I didn't win, and you're getting them all excited, and then when they don't win, it kind of hurts. It hurts because it makes them seem like they're down. So there was someone else who I was thinking about, who else someone else did the whole Spike Lee thing. Oh, I think it was J Lo, Jennifer Lopez. Look, Jennifer Lopez. I think I read an article where she said, like, years ago. I read an article where I think and I found out and I started laughing when I read this. She made this movie called El Cantante with Mark Anthony. I have that movie because I actually like that movie. It might be bad, but I actually like that movie. I'd have to watch it again because I haven't seen it. I can see it right here. It's right there. El Cantante. It was from the singer Hector Lavoe, which is one of my dad's favorite singer. I think my dad saw this movie and he didn't even like the movie. He really just didn't like it. He's like, no, I didn't think they did well. And my dad's a big fan of Hector Lavoe. It's one of the reasons I wanted to watch the movie too, is because I know the music from my dad playing the music in the car, at the parties and all that. So I got interested in it because I'm like, oh, that's the songs that I hear with my dad and all that. So I'm gonna go. I went to go see that in the theater, and I had a good time watching it. But I don't remember. My critique on it might be different. But she ended up saying something like, I should have won an Oscar. I'm not sure if this is true because I know sometimes articles they're not true sometimes. But I read an article where she said, oh, I should have won an Oscar for that. I was like, who says that type of thing? That part right there sounds kind of like, like, like me trying to praise myself. Like, I should have won an Oscar because my thing was better than that person's. I think I did a great job in there. And so that thing was another thing that kind of irritated me a bit. This whole thing of praising yourself, of being more important than others. Like, I mean, this is you. You shouldn't be like, I think that just shows what kind of character you are, is doing something like that. Spike Lee he's one of my favorite directors, but he walked away. He walked out. And then J-Lo right there, she said that, oh, I should have won an Oscar. And I saw the thing. She did a good job, or kind of, it not like big time where I was like, damn, she did an awesome job. The one I will say I thought she did a good job and I kind of wanted her to win an Oscar was the movie, which I have, is Hustlers. I liked that movie and I liked her performance in one of the scenes in the movie that made me think like, damn, she did a good job right there. And I actually thought she fit this role. I wasn't dying for her to get it, but I was happy that I think she was nominated, but and you can see her face there, and then she didn't get it. And then I think she had to go up right after that. And I think she was all kind of crying or a little bit emotional. I think, I'm not 100% sure. And she recently actually did an interview where she talked about how she still kind of says it. I think I've been put aside. I've been an underdog in the business and nobody appreciates my work and all that. Which is still kind of sounding the same way she was sounding when she said, I should have got an Oscar for El Cantante. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of like this whole thing where you kind of stuck up and all that. But what I like that she said, she's finally getting to the point where it's like, I was that kind of person, but I started realizing that I don't need these trophies stacked in my room just to think about myself as better or something like that, And I thought that was great that she was actually seeing herself like that, and started to talk that way. I don't think they should just like think about it because I want this because I'm more better than that person and all that. I think a real person is a person that does it, and then if they get recognized, they get recognized. And I mean, look, Joaquin Phoenix didn't take all the time. He did it for some important stuff that he believed in, but he ended up talking to each of the actors, I think, that were also nominated at that time. I remember he was naming all of them, and Liam was like saluting them and all that. So that's cool. And yeah, so it kind of goes back to like him when he was talking about the master, when he said he didn't want to, and me being like, why is he being a dick and all that bit. These past 2 years I think about it, I'm like, you know what, that thing does get to your like ego. And then the acceptance speeches where you start crying and all that, like there are people that want it and that want that moment. I think they just want that moment to, like, I don't know, it's something that they crave. I think at the time I thought it was cool and I thought it was honest, but I think there are some real moments, and there are some moments where the people are just craving for that moment and just to have it, just to like, oh, that's my moment of my Oscar thingy, you know. I hope you guys get what I'm kind of saying, you know. I think there are real moments, and then there are the ones that kind of just want it just to have it that way, you know. And so I think that was kind of the video that I wanted to do with my friend, this whole thing, and I wanted to see if that's kind of what he was thinking about, you know. A little bit, probably 5% of that's probably what he's thinking about, but it's probably more. So I wanted to do a video with someone else to see the views that I had on it, you know. But I always liked the Oscars. I always liked the people that won best picture, best cinematography, best score, and all that stuff. And I always watched it, and I always got interested in the things that would win. And I always like to see like who in every category. I like to see. I even look it up. I mean, I watch most of these films all the time because I don't get a chance to, or I can't get to it. But I always like to see in every category who's and then I'm like, cool. I'm like, so this is competing against this one. This one's competing against this one. And I find it interesting. And sometimes just looking up at who's nominated and all that, you get introduced to other films, other things for those reasons of the categories that are in there and all that. So I've always liked it. And I don't know why. I think when I was younger, it was a big thing. Um, I think Whoopi Goldberg talked about it recently, where they said that I guess it was because of the dresses. You didn't get to see the stars with their beautiful outfits and all that, but now you can see them everywhere. Because it is something I noticed, and I'm like, yeah, when I was younger, my family would watch it a lot. I think I would watch it with my sister, my older sister, in the house with some siblings and all that. And then eventually it was just me who was just watching it because I was a fan of film and all that. And then obviously the decline and all that has started happening, and they're saying it's probably for these certain reasons and all that. So yeah, I've always seen it throughout the years since I was young, and it always felt like a big thing. But now it doesn't seem as it was. Like, I don't know. Now that people talk about it, it's true. Like when I was younger, yeah, it seemed like more big at that time, and now it's not the same with your family. I'm not sure what it is. Something kind of changed from that time, from like the 90s or 80s all the way like to early 2000s, and then now like in the 2010 to 20 kind of changed a bit. Um, so yeah, those things are that's what I wanted to say, is those are my views. That's what it's kind of changing now on me, because I used to love the Oscars, and like I said, I thought Joaquin Phoenix was kind of being a douchebag for not accepting it. I was like, why is he being a dick and all that? You know, why doesn't he accept it? I think he was making a point right at that time, you know. And I think the things that I told you about, look at the way now people act, the things that I've seen on screen, I'm like, as an adult now, as I'm getting to an older age and all that, I'm like, really, like, you kind of like just praising yourself already with that. So it's like kind of like someone coming up to you and be like, oh yeah, well, I have 5 Oscars, and you're kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, I think it's cool, but when people do that, like, and I think I heard it in I went to a university where I'm majoring in film, and they give us money, and if we win a contest, my short film, our short film, the one that we did, the last one that I did, um, Distant, they gave me money for that short film. Distant is on my YouTube if you guys want to watch it. But that wasn't my original plan. I was supposed to direct someone else's script. That person ended up pulling out, which caused me. I was trying to get out of this project, but they told me I couldn't get out anymore, and I wanted to get out because that wasn't my plan. My plan was to direct this person's script, but she pulled her script herself and the script out. So I had to do this. And so yeah, they gave me and my team, they awarded us money. It wasn't because of me, it was because of that person. She won the contest, but at the end she ended up pulling out. And since I was the director, and I tried taking off after she pulled out, because I wanted to direct that script, but Yeah, she took off. So yeah, the money. And then some, so they gave it like the year before that, I think before it was my turn, people were talking about how this guy that got it just started in my classroom. They're like, yeah, oh, she was all like, did you guys hear that the person from our school won at whatever it is, or blah blah blah. And then they were all like, yeah, we just can't stop hearing about it. We have him in the other class and he just won't shut up about it. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so you see what I mean? Like something like that. Like I guess we brag too much about it, you know? And so that's the thing. And yeah, I guess you can feel important. It gets to your ego. You could probably treat people differently and all that. So I don't know. And then the thing also I was thinking about throughout the time as I was thinking about this was like, who does these things? Like, I mean, thinking about it, I recently did some more investigation into it because I really wanted to answer my question. And I was like, and but what I thought about is like, these are a certain group of people. And I wonder if you freaking like these group of people, if you took them out of here and then replaced it with someone else, would those categories still win for what they were nominated for? The same movie? Would it be? I'm pretty sure it'd be a different movie. I mean, so I'm like, does that really count as best picture? Because I mean, come on. And I think Christian Bale had said this before in an interview too, where he was like, some of the movies that should have won Oscars didn't even win Oscars at the time. And I guess it's different people's opinion on what they think should be the Oscars. I guess there are movies that I probably thought should have won an Oscar, but they didn't. Um, and just like he said, it's something like that. So I'm like, does it really count? Is that really best picture because this group of people picked it? But the thing that I found out as I was investigating more into this is the whole that there every category has like 10 members of that freaking that's I think a professional into that part of cinematographers, directing, editing, sound, production design. I believe that's what I read correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I kind of like that it is that way, but it still goes with the same thing. If I grab those people and throw them away and then replace them with someone else, other people, other 10 people, would it still be the same as theirs? It would kind of be different. So does it count? Um, I think I think the movie would the one that's nominated is actually going to be different. So that was the other thing that I started thinking of. Does it really count though? The Oscars. So I was trying to pull away from this, and I was trying to like be like, you know what, maybe yeah, my friends, other people are right about the Oscars and awards shows. And I started thinking about myself as I'm older. I'm like, man, if I got like hypothetically, if I got nominated for like an Oscar, it'd be an uncomfortable feeling to like be and winning. Actually, I think winning would be more uncomfortable because you're like all these people are staring at you, and then the other people are like kind of right there. Oh yeah, there isn't this something else that it said in the article. One of the articles I read, I'm not sure if it was Ed Sheeran's. He talked about how there's this when you're in there, the freaking energy in the room where you feel like this competition where it feels like this other one wants that person to fail, and I'm like, really? I'm like, damn, I think it was him that said that. And thinking about that, I'm like, man, that's like a negative type of energy that's going through the room to put yourself together and wanting to win, like I don't know, it's just something that and that's my view that's kind of going towards that. The things that I started picking up on as I'm getting older and all that, my mind's opening up to more clearly to things. Different from back then, I guess. So I'm wondering if those are things that the people that I know that's are against the Oscars that are always make fun of me because I kiss the Oscars ass and all that. So I wonder if that's kind of what they're kind of trying to say too, or unless they just really don't give a shit about the Oscars either, you know? But I am still a passionate person and all that about film and all that and about the work that goes into film. And I think a lot of things are important. And I mentioned this in my review. I think I did a superhero versus cinema or something like that video on here where I was trying to like talk about the directors that are talking about the superhero genre or the blockbuster genre, blockbuster franchise. Um, and how I'm a bit in agreement with them, and you guys know that I like some superhero stuff. I think I've done reviews on superhero movies and superhero shows. I mean, I just did one on Peacemaker. Um, I like some of these things, but I'm in agreement, and I've been like that for a while. I'm tired of like just this whole uh theater is just pure franchise and franchise reboots, remakes, continuation, sequels, and all that. And there's nothing original anymore. And I've been vocal about it. I think, and I do think the Marvel the world is actually taking over a lot of it too. The DCU's kind of going that way a little bit. They're kind of but I do think Marvel took away like a lot of things. And I mean, look, people like Ridley Scott have talked about it. Ben Affleck talks about how he's like not gonna do IP movies anymore, and a lot of famous directors have talked about it. And I think what they say is true. A lot of them are kind of really harsh. I mean, I personally, I don't think, and I'm pretty sure they're okay with this, but I think Alfonso Cuarón said that. He's like, I like those movies. It's a good popcorn movie, and that's what I think they are, is popcorn movies. And I think they shouldn't completely go away, but I don't think the whole freaking theater and the whole year should be full of these type of movies. We should let more original type of films come out, or from creative directors, original writers, and all that to come out here, you know. And even if they're gonna do a superhero movie, at least try to be like innovative or something, do something with it. So I'm gonna have to go back to Black Panther, because I think this whole thing goes back to Marvel and Black Panther and all that. Any type of, I think this thing is a cause of Marvel, and it's something that actually irritated me a lot. And I have to go back there. I think I brought this up in my cinema versus superhero film whatever video, and so I have to go back there. I was vocal about this when I saw that Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture. I was one of the people that was like, "What the hell? Why the hell is Black Panther nominated for Best Picture?" I'm like, I think the movie was good from what I recall, from what I remember. The movie was good. I still have the movie. Um, I have the movie. I haven't put it on for a while. I remember liking it. I saw it 3 times, and one of the times that I saw it was when me and my sister, like us, we rented out the theater for the family, for a family event, to go see it together, because we thought it was going to be a big event. And yeah, I thought it was a big event. I thought it should have been celebrated and all that. It was a big thing, you know. It was Black Panther and all that, and I thought it was cool. But when I saw it on Best Picture, I was like, really? I'm like, okay, yeah, the story was good. Michael B. Jordan is one of my favorite actors. Chadwick Boseman is a great actor. Ryan Coogler is one of my favorite directors, but I would rather watch his other work than Black Panther more. Um, and so when this whole thing came up, I was like, what the hell? I'm like, why the hell are people winning this movie to win Oscar? And I think a lot of people, you know, there were some reasons, and then the other reason was because it was a Marvel movie, and they thought that. But I was like, what the hell is this dumb? And people were telling me like, you know, why are you like attacking like uh Black Panther and this and that. And I was vocal about it. I was like, you know what? I don't think it's freaking the best picture, man. It's like all like still fantasy stuff and all that. It was way a lot too. I mean, there are some fantasy films that have been like with Oscars and all that, but I don't know. It was like too much, like whether it was the CGI or the too like it was just a blockbuster film to me. It was like a superhero story, but more like for family and kids, and but it wasn't something big time that was something. I don't know how to explain it. To me, it wasn't something like, I guess something like what ET would be. It wasn't something like that. So I was vocal about that, and I still don't think it is. And there are a lot of people too that are in agreement with me, and there are still the other people that keep saying it should have won Oscar. And I think I've been hearing this a lot from the damn MCU fans. Look, I was an MCU fan. I am from like the Phase One and all that. I'm not one of those like I guess I kind of am now a bit. I have my side that I'm in, but I was never like, it wasn't never about DC is better or Marvel is better. I'm a film first. I'm a film fan, not like a whole. This isn't a DC versus, I'm a DC or more, or a Marvel fan more. First, I'm a film fan, and that's the thing that gets to me is, you know, when they started saying that these Marvel movies should win Oscars, and I'm like, these people are whining about this stuff. I'm like, are you freaking serious? I'm like, this is dumb. And even there, I was like, it was kind of scary at the time just thinking about it, that it was even nominated for an Oscar, and it was a Marvel picture. And this, I don't think any Marvel picture has done anything great for me to say that it deserves an Oscar. I mean, Iron Man 1, maybe a little bit something in there, because it's more of a Tony Stark story than it was of just Iron Man in a big spectacle type of film. So I go back to that. And now look, we got this freaking Spider-Man No Way Home just came out. I did my review on it. I told you guys I liked it. There are certain issues I had with it. I like to view it as a standalone film. It did seem kind of, things were kind of pointless at times. And when I saw it, it did seem like kind of another whole, we did this for the money type of thing. And so that's something where I was like, yeah, I'm kind of irritated about that. And then I knew there was gonna be talk about like Spider-Man No Way Home should win Oscar, it should win Oscar. And so this and that. And look, I'll go back to like Christopher Nolan's when this whole Black Panther thing came out, I said some things. I said, you know what, the only superhero films that I think should have won an Oscar was The Dark Knight and Logan. Those are the two movies that I think should have won Oscar. I'd be cool if they won Best Picture because they were great pictures. But I said, but then again, they're still kind of superhero films. So I don't know. But I think those were great superhero films. The Dark Knight and Logan were great. Even later on, I started thinking about them. Like maybe even probably Batman Begins was great because sometimes I fall in love with Batman Begins more than The Dark Knight, or The Dark Knight is still my favorite one. Logan was something new and great. And I love that film. The James Mangold. So that was a good thing. Those are two that I named that I thought were great. But has the MCU done anything? Not even the DCEU has done anything that I'm gonna say right now. Marvel, MCU, and DCEU, but I don't feel like the DCEU side is saying like, "Oh, we should win Oscar." I do know the Snyder fans are because the whole Zack Snyder and all that type of deal thing. I know they're kind of like the other side of this type of thing. They're probably gonna kill me for comparing. I'm gonna get killed. No, but yeah, so they're not really bragging it as much. I don't think so. Not that I've heard. The one that I'm hearing it more for is from the Marvel fanatics, hardcore Marvel fanatics. Me, I'm a person that knows what a blockbuster film is, what a popcorn movie is. I know what that is, and I know how to. I mean, look, I'm hyping up the Batman right now. I'm like freaking sharing things on social media and all that of the Batman. You guys saw my video on Batman. I had my hat and everything. I'm really excited for that film. I can't wait to watch it. But I mean, I have to see it to see what it's like and to see if it's doing any. I'm kind of having hope from what I'm hearing about it that it's kind of gonna break something new. Like the way Todd Phillips Joker. Look at what Todd Phillips Joker did. Even though yeah, people can say it's a ripoff. I mean, he was influenced by Taxi Driver and all that, but it was a nice take and a way to use these characters to go in this kind of route with who they are and what they are, what made them be who they are, and everything. But in a route where you can go and be more cinematic with it and all that, than to just be like, okay, here we go, this is the story, that's it. Good guy fights bad guy, blah blah blah. And that's kind of something that I'm worried about with the Batman. I mean, because it's gonna be a superhero against villain, and so I don't know. So it's kind of, but I have to watch it to see what it's gonna be like. But the news that I've been hearing, I kind of like what I've been hearing, but I could be wrong. Um, so yeah, those are the things that I'm trying to say, that I can tell the difference with what's a blockbuster movie and what's an actual movie, I guess. Something like cinematic, something really, that's something that deserves an Oscar. I mean, look, the movies that I have, I think a lot of the movies that I buy aren't really, some of them are now, are Oscar movies that won Oscar, were nominated for Oscars. But even though I was growing up and throughout the years, I tell people I usually don't buy the Oscar movies because, I mean, I always feel like the ones that are nominated for Oscars are like a one-time watch type of thing, or like, it could, because you can't get that whole thing again. I mean, you can appreciate it, but I'm not sure if you can get the whole thing again. But now I have been getting them more as I'm studying them and all that. Not too much. It's still kind of the same, but I get my cup of tea. But do you see me like saying, "Oh, because this was my favorite movie, it should win Oscar"? I'm not one of those people. The people that are doing this crap are those people that are like, "This was my favorite movie, so it should win Oscar because it was my favorite movie, and these are the ones I think should win Oscar." And so that's what I'm gonna get into right now. Look, like 2 weeks ago or something. What was it? Oh yeah, they brought up there's gonna be a fan favorite Oscar vote. The fans are gonna be able to vote for a fan favorite, so they can get an award. They're not. I don't think they're gonna get an Oscar. They're gonna get an award. They're gonna get all these prizes, tickets for a year to go to the theater and all that. And I was like, ah, crap. I was like, I kind of laughed. I didn't take it, but I was laughing. I was like, here we go. This is what we're gonna turn into. And I'm like, this is freaking stupid. And this is reminding me all about that dumb thing. And Spider-Man No Way Home, everyone's saying like we should it should win Oscar, it should win Oscar. Like I said, I have my own thoughts on that. I don't think it should have won Oscar. I don't think it was a freaking Oscar worthy movie. It was entertaining. It was fun. That was it. I took my mom again the second time. She loved it because she was a fan of Tobey Maguire. I was a fan. I'm a fan of the Tobey Maguire Sam Raimi trilogy. I'm a fan of the Andrew Garfield one. So it was cool. I wanted to go see it because of that, you know. But I walked in kind of knowing what I was gonna get too. Even though I was like, yeah, I kind of know what I'm gonna get. And even seeing it, you kind of observing it and like, yeah, this was all about like pulling in money and all that, and talking about just the money and that's it. And then them talking about like, oh, these superhero films should win Oscar. These ones should win Oscar. I'm like, if you want them to win Oscar, do something great with it. Don't just freaking make a superhero film and say like it should win Oscar. Um, Put some actual creativity into it, something great, you know. I've been vocal on how like, you know, this whole crossover type of thing, I'm kind of over it. I did like the ending of Peacemaker with the thing that I said because it was kind of a something unexpected and all that. But here it's kind of like even with the thing that I'm bothered. I love superhero. I like the superhero films. And I don't want too many of them, but yes, I think we need them. I'm a fan of some superhero comics, icons, and all that. But I don't want like so much of it because I'm a fan of film also. I want to see like original work from other directors and writers. I mean, like I've said before, I think that I had to go watch Taylor Sheridan's Wind River and Higher Hell Water at an actual special theater by a college, and it wasn't in big theaters. And I was wondering why the hell I had. There were other movies. It wasn't just his films. There have been other films. That's how I found that. That's how I found that theater by that college or that university is because I couldn't find it anywhere. And then when I looked on like Fandango or somewhere on Google, it's like near my area. It said, "Oh, it's playing here." So every time it's like this kind of independent type of movie or like different, like that's not like a franchise and all that, and it's not getting much attention, I usually kind of have a good feeling that it's going to play over here. And I end up going over there and watching it. And sometimes I wish it got more attention out there. I try to promote it on my social media and all that and talk about it with people, texting, be like, hey, I saw this movie, you should check it out and this and that, you know. It's by this director and this and that, you know. So those are things, and it sucks when you kind of want those type of films a lot because those are the films that I think my dad used to take me to, or the ones that I used to get interested on my own, you know. I mean, the franchise films you can find that easily now. And it's like in every corner. Every time you go to the theater, it's always like the weekend of this, the month of this, and all that. So that's how it is with all that stuff. So yeah, Twitter, the Oscars did this whole thing with Twitter saying that fans can now vote for their favorite movie to get recognized and all that. And I think it has a lot to do with them Spider-Man No Way Home not getting an Oscar. You know, they even said they were going to campaign for it, which was funny because the only thing I saw on my Instagram or like thingy, my social media, it was like little one ad, and I was like, that's it. And I actually thought they were going to put more money into it or something. But the only thing I saw was like one little post that said, "Oh, pick Spider-Man No Way Home for Best Picture or whatever and all that because of this and that." I'm like, that's dumb. I'm like, I think there's some good performances in it, but I was like, no, I don't think so. And so now they did this whole thing to freaking get these people to go there and do that type of thing. And look, I just saw this movie called Kimmy with Zoe Kravitz by Steven Soderbergh, which I just realized I forgot to do a review on it. I think. But I read that I was looking up Steven Soderbergh again, and then I came across one of his articles from like years ago, and it says I had it up. It says this. Do I still have it? Oh, look, this is what he said, and it kind of reminds me of what I was saying when this whole Black Panther thing was saying. I think I told these people, which kind of like, kind of uncomfortable feeling now the way that I think about it when I look back on it and the way I phrased it and all that. I said that those films don't have a like real like art to it, real something artistic or a real art form for film and all that. I was like, they're just like, and it's like many people say these things are like McDonald's. They're just like hamburgers, really quick, like get it and that's it. There's nothing big to it. And look right here. So I kind of when I read this article, I was like, that's basically what I was trying to say when people were talking about Black Panther, the how it should be nominated for Best Picture. How I mean, just a Marvel movie like for visual effects, maybe. I mean, look, I think one movie that I didn't enjoy was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. But the thing that I did like was the visuals of it, the because I remember the dragon and all that stuff. There's something nice about that kind of cinematography in it, and even in the fight scene where they're like I think on the building with the sister and all that. Um, Things like that. Okay, yeah, but anything else, I was like, I haven't seen anything great from them. Nothing big time great. Story wise, I think Iron Man was great. Maybe the way the direction of the Winter Soldier was great, but I still didn't think that was probably one that would for me to be something as best picture, you know. Like I said, I like these films. I buy those movies, or I like those at the time of around the phase one, phase two type of thing. But I never ever said like nominate this movie because I liked it so much because it reminded me of this and blah blah blah. No, I let the actual artistic films actually be nominated for what they are, and I get interested, and sometimes I watch those. And like I said, sometimes I didn't even get them or something. I got my own thing, but I still have respect for those type of films and all that. And so, look, this is what he said. This is what Steven Soderbergh said as a New Yorker. The simplest way that I can describe it is that a movie is something you see, and cinema is something that's made. Cinema is a specificity of vision. It's an approach in which everything matters. It's the polar opposite of generic or arbitrary, and the result is as unique as a signature or a fingerprint. It isn't made by a committee, and it isn't made by a company, and it isn't made by the audience. It means that if this filmmaker didn't do it, it either wouldn't exist at all or it wouldn't exist in anything like this form. And I'm like, look, these type of films, you hear stories of how the producers or whatever get involved into the director's vision, and sometimes the directors and writers don't even know what the hell happens when the movie comes out. They get interviewed and they're like, oh, that was done after me. I don't know when they put that in, but that wasn't me. That was something that they must have did when I wasn't there. Some people say like, oh yeah, they told me to do it this way, and I had to do it that way. You know, I think some people have been vocal on the Marvel. There's a lot of people that worked for Marvel or that were about to and spoke on what they do. And if you read it, you'll see that they don't let the actual freaking artists actually really fulfill their whole vision. They intrude in it a lot, and which is something that's getting me worried for Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So we'll see how that goes. But look, I think this is kind of what he's saying. You know, when you get involved, when you interrupt someone's vision, an artist, a director, and all that, and you're doing it just to please the audience. I mean, look, isn't the MCU audience actually saying, "Oh, Marvel is winning because they're giving the fans what they want"? You don't do that. I think that's kind of what he's saying right here. You know, you don't do it like that. That's not something artistic. That's not something Oscar worthy and all that. So yeah, it was funny at first when I was laughing when they said all this whole Twitter thingy that that the Twitter you can vote now. I was like, wow, these guys are freaking dying so hard so that Spider-Man No Way Home can get at least recognized or an Oscar. I think some people still think they're gonna get an Oscar. I don't think it's an Oscar. I think it's an award, but there are a lot of people get an Oscar. And it's so stupid to me. And then I found out about that they're having the cheer moment too. And so I thought it was freaking funny, but I thought it's stupid. I told my friend, I'm like, you know what, dude, we're gonna get to a year where fucking Transformers gets nominated for an Oscar, fucking Optimus Prime wins an Oscar and all that crap. We're already getting there. And I think it's something we were realizing a few years ago and all that. And we're finally getting to that point. And that's what these people are. They want their favorite movies to win Oscars and all that. But if they want their favorite movies to win Oscars, it shouldn't be these type of freaking blockbuster superhero type of films. It should be other ones, you know. But these are the ones that are going for it. These freaking diehard one of the blockbuster franchise, the freaking superhero genre. And yeah, I think they expanded the freaking categories because The Dark Knight didn't win, and that's one that I thought was should have got a best picture. I was kind of upset because I was young at the time and it was my favorite movie at the time, but I still think it was good. And yeah, I think it would have been cool if it got one best picture and all that. But I think that's why they expanded it, because that one didn't get picked and a lot of people thought it should, so they expanded the categories and all that. So maybe it's a little bit of the fault of that one that we're in this situation. But look, there are people that say it's still a freaking superhero movie, man. It's still a superhero movie no matter what, you know. So there's that. So I got that thing was funny, and I've been like, oh my god, these people are fucking serious, man. And I can't believe the Academy actually did that, a fan favorite thingy, which I think is stupid. Fans get to vote for their thing to get recognized because they're picking up these dumb movies. And again, it's possible that it's gonna blow up in their faces too, but I'm actually gonna be laughing because I'm like, dude, you guys are the ones that started that crap. And look, it this kind of proves to your thing that your thing wasn't even Oscar worthy, and this thing is just kind of a joke. So if it blows up in their face, that shit's gonna be funny. If it doesn't, it's just kind of be like, oh, but yeah, with the and it's just I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something to do with fucking Spider Man and all that at the Oscars and all that, which is freaking annoying. All right, guys. So yeah, the Twitter fan favorite type of thing. I thought it was a stupid idea. It's fun. It was funny at first, but man, yesterday when I heard the news of what was going on, I got really freaking furious. I was really pissed, man. I some and it would showed. I just got up and I was pissed. I could feel the rage inside of me. I was really pissed. I couldn't take it, and I needed to let it out, but I couldn't. It was just all this rage inside. Thinking about the decision that they made. I thought it was dumb. I mean, look, the whole freaking fan favorite type of bullcrap. That's also something that I could go back to with Black Panther. When Black Panther, the whole thing of Black Panther should win Best Picture and all that. I ended up saying, I responded in this way. I said no, and they were like, "Why? Why do you think that?" I'm like, "I think they already get their attention enough with the MTV Awards. I think that's for them. The MTV Awards is for them." And look what happened. Now, I mean, you may not like the people from The View or the host and all that, but look, Whoopi Goldberg and the people from The View actually said this. Don't they have the People's Choice already? They have the MTV Awards already. They should just leave it at that. That's what I said around when 2017 or 2018 when Black Panther came out. Like I said, I'm a film fan first, and that's something I said before. And now look, everyone's saying it now what I said, and I'm pretty sure other people were like me out there too that were saying the same thing, that they have their MTV Awards, their People's Choice Awards and all that. Now, yesterday when I heard the news, this is what happened. The Oscars announced saying that they were gonna slim down they weren't gonna there's gonna be some changes into it where they're gonna cut the awards for certain categories were gonna be presented before the live broadcast. So these people are still gonna get their Oscars. They're gonna get awarded and everything. It's gonna be pre-recorded, I think. And they say they're still gonna have their Oscar moment. But the thing I'm not sure is because I read it, it said that it's pre-recorded and then they're gonna insert it into the live broadcast. So it's already recorded and then they're just inserting it in there, but it's gonna be like edited and crap. And I think that's stupid. That's a really disrespectful way to do that to freaking people that actually put hard work into their craft. And that's the thing that I was trying to mention against these people that were saying that Black Panther, Marvel movies should win Oscars. I'm like, no damn Marvel movie nor DCEU movie should win Oscar because none of them have been anything freaking big time great. They should win like maybe MTV Awards, People's Choice Awards, all those type of things. Yeah, those ones, yeah. But in Oscar, no, I don't think so. They're there for that. They haven't done anything big time for like to them to be recognized as an Oscar. I think it's stupid, to be honest. And I always thought it was, especially a Marvel film. I'm like, no, yeah, that thing's getting tiresome already too, man. I mean, I am a fan of the Phase 1, Phase 2, and I never got too much into the Avengers type of thing much. I did like the last ones, but I always prefer like the standalone ones than I did the connection type of thing into the fantasy world and all that. And that's what I said, that I didn't like that at all. So to be bragging about that, oh, we deserve Oscar recognition. I'm like, no, you just whining and crap. You just you feel like it's really important because it's your favorite movie and all that. Me, I have favorite movies too. I know that they're not freaking Oscar. I'm not going out there and being like, you know what, my favorite movie should win Oscar. Why? Because it's my favorite movie, so it should win Oscar. No, hell no. I'm not like that. These people are like that. It should win Oscar just because it's my favorite movie. Look right here. One of the things that I'm glad about this. Look, this is what the Oscars said. These categories will not be broadcast live during the Oscars telecast. Film editing, makeup, hairstyle, original score, production design, sound, documentary short, animated short, live action short. Dude, editing is a big important part to film. Every film is edited. There is not a film that is not edited unless someone did something creative where they probably didn't. Well, they had to edit it. So yeah, it's every film was freaking edited. The freaking let me see the makeup and hairstyle. There are a lot of movies that we like that a lot of people, even these freaking people. There's a lot of people, and these people only want to praise their damn movies. But look, they don't know that this is ignoring people that make their movies too. There's people that do makeup and hairstyle in this business that make up the movie, that help the actors get into character, that help it look amazing, the creatures or whatever they're doing into this whole different world. It's freaking amazing what they do with that makeup, the makeup artists and the hairstyle and everything. Original score, dude. One of the things I look forward to every time in a film, and especially with a big director, is always the score. Sometimes I get surprised in films that I see that weren't from big time directors, but the score I fall in love, and then I end up looking up who this composer is, and I fall in love. I like 2 weeks ago, I remembered of First Man, the movie that I think that was that Damien Chazelle movie, First Man, and the composer, I forgot the name of the composer, but that score right there, I love. That was an experience when I went to go watch that in IMAX, and when that music started playing, when the landing on the moon, I think that's what it's called, the landing. I mean, I love that score right there. That made up the film. It brought something to it. The tension and all that stuff. It brought something great to that film, and that was an experience. And I was listening to that. I even sent it over to my friend because my friend loves music scores, and he found that music through me because I told him, dude, you got to check out this film because I know his style, and I'm like, watch, he's gonna love the score. That's it right there. Production design. There's a lot of things that make up the world that we do. I mean, there's a lot of films out there that end up doing the production design, what you're seeing in the background, the sofas, the couch, the dinner table. There's things that it can be used for mise en sense and all that. Documentary short, animated short, live action short. This is one that really triggered me right here. Is short. I mean, man, shorts are something that make up like what Hollywood is. The people that are there got there by making short films, man. I mean, people, even people in these damn MCU films that directed MCU films, they have short films, and I say this all the time. I would rather watch their freaking short film probably more than I do want to watch their MCU film or their superhero film or their DC film. I would rather watch their short film. Look up your favorite director, I mean, or a director from your superhero thing type of thing, and I'm pretty sure some of them have some short films out there. Um, so I'm someone that does short films, and I know what it is like to try to like put your thing out there and all that. I do short films. I got inspired to do short films. My plan originally wasn't to do short films. It wasn't until a friend that told me, why are you writing feature films if you're not in the business yet? You don't have that type of money, man. And I didn't know. I didn't even understand when he was trying to teach me this stuff. I was like, why does he want me to write short films? And then again, it was a challenge because I'm like, but I don't know how to tell a story within like 20 or 30 minutes, man. I don't know how to do it. But then some ideas came up, and then that's what inspired me to do the short films that I have. I'm a film major, and at the university that I go to, they help us do short films. We have to do little short films as assignments. Um, so the short film thing, it sucks because these are people that should be getting recognized. These are people that don't have that much attention as the big stars, the big money, and they're doing short films right now to do what they can. Some people are wasted all their everything that they all the resources they used all the resources that they had, and it might not be much, but they still created something big. I mean, look, when I did my first short film, I mean, I'm not proud of too much of the short films that I did because I think I learned something about myself as I write and as I see it, and I'm like, man, my God. But the first short film that I did, I mean, I put some money on my credit card, and I was in debt for a little bit because I believed in it, and I thought taking the risk, you know. I mean, although we ended up seeing, me and the team ended up seeing what went wrong, and you know, it didn't come out right as we expected. It on the paper it looked good, but then when we did it, it didn't come out right. But just the way I felt about it and all that at the time, I'm like, I'm gonna take a risk. That's called taking a risk. I took a risk. I didn't win, because look, man, it didn't work out, and I saw the errors that came out of it. But at least I'm happy that I took the risk because I had to take that risk because I really wanted to, you know, I wanted to be a storyteller. I want to be a storyteller, film director, and all that. And there are many people like that do that stuff, and you get inspired by these type of films. I mean, these people are talented because they're telling a story within. They have to tell a story within like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That shows talent because it says that you can make a movie within 20 minutes. So then, you know what? I'll give you the money and make a feature film. Since I can see that you have this much talent, I'm going to give you this money and you're going to make a feature film. And so that's how certain things happen. Some of my favorite directors out there that are big stars, big names, they have short films when they started, and they have short films, and I've seen them, and I love them. So yeah, though that's something else that kind of pissed me off. I mean, animated shorts. Sometimes I get interested in these animated shorts too when the Oscars are coming out, and sometimes I watch them. Sometimes I see the categories, and I see the animated ones, and I get interested in some of them. Sometimes I like the other one that wasn't the winner, but at least it was in the nomination, and I got interested in that. Editing, man, you can tell you editing's a plays an important part, man. And there are certain ways where you can use editing to actually tell the story. I have a book where it talks about certain things. There was a specific movie, I forgot which one, but I was always intrigued by it. And I'm like, I want to do something like that someday when I do a project. Is how you can tell a story with editing, and it's really good the way it says it, but only an editor would know how to do that. I mean, I do edit stuff, but I'm not like a professional editor. But there are people that are intrigued by editing and love it. They see it the way I see directors work, writers work, cinematography work. There are people out there that see editors work and all that. I mean, look, I did a short film. Look, the school helps us. Look, I got money. Last was it in 2020? I got money to do a short film. I was supposed to direct someone else's script. That person pulled out their script and pulled themselves out. I was trying to pull myself out of here because I wasn't. My plan was to direct that person's script, but that person took their script and themselves away. And then I got stuck, and they told me I couldn't get out. It was too late for me to get out, so I had to come up with something, which I always say came out of my ass. Um, because it was cool, but it was the only thing that I could think of, and I'm not too proud of it. But then in the way I am with the team that I had and all that, but that was something that I had to write really fast because I had money. They gave us money. They gave us money because of we used that money for short films, and that's kind of what happened. That's what happened here is I got money for the short film, and I had a whole team. And look, the team, my professor told me, all right, Mike, you have this vision, you do your storyboard, the vision you have, the production and all that. You get an image, get some pictures, what you want it to look like and all that. And I had to give it to like my producer and other people that were playing the production design. And I said, look, this is what I want. This is kind of the idea that I have. And they had to go scout and look for those places or those uh props and all that for me for the idea, the vision that I had. They had to go look for that because this is telling a story right there. They had to go find all this stuff, and I couldn't do that without them. That's called production design. They did it right there with the vision that I had, and they went to go find all this stuff and all that. The other thing is editing. I got sick around this time. I had a certain issue around 2020, and so I didn't get to finish the project all the way. I did finish pre-production, production, but I didn't get to finish off in post-production because certain issues that happened. My team ended up finishing it off. I always had a storyboard, and the editors were there. They're two great people that were nice and all that. They were our editors. Both of them worked really well, and they were really helpful. And so every time I had a shot and everything, we had to edit it. We had to put it in the computer already so they could start at least kind of working on the editing on it to put it together. But I wasn't there for like the post production, and they had my storyboard and all that, and I didn't get to finish it with them, but they ended up finishing it on their own, and they edited it all together, and they did it a whole different kind. Not it's kind of like the way I had my storyboard, but in a different way, which I never expected. And I even said to myself, I'm like, damn, how come I didn't think about that? That's so freaking nice. I fell in love with it. I like the way they edited the film because it was different from my storyboard and all that. But the way they ended up putting their vision together and seeing how it would go and working together, that was great right there. That was, and they helped tell the story that I wanted to tell still at the end. It was beautiful. It was really nice, touching and all that. So I like the way they did that. And I think that plays a part in big films. I mean, a lot of directors like certain editors that they work with because they did such a great job on the film. And I think that's great. I think these people are known as, I guess, below the line, below the line, because they're not as big as the big stars of the writers, the directors, the cinematographers. That's what I'm saying. These guys are trying to get rid of like below the line, but usually I felt like original score is always on top of there with these big things already too, and but they're not there right now. And I think they should be. And so this thing really pisses me off right there. Look, these people that actually freaking complained about this shit, and I have a feeling it has a lot to do with these freaking Marvel fanatics of Spider-Man No Way Home. Why didn't it get an Oscar? The people behind Marvel and all that pushing it. We should get Oscars too. I think our movies are Oscar worthy. We should be recognized and all that. And I don't think I don't think it's right that they think that their thing was something innovative, something inspiring. No, I have no movies from them that inspired me yet. Nothing that says, you know what, I'm gonna use that Marvel movie as. I think it's stupid for like later on for someone to be like, you know what, I'm gonna use as an inspiration is that freaking Spider-Man Hulk movie and all that stuff. No, I really can't see that at all. Here are some things I've been liking what I saw in the thing. And look, what I like about it today, I think it was earlier today or last night. I want more people to speak up. People in the business, I want them to actually speak up about this situation because I think it's wrong. And there are people that are saying this. They're like, look, those big star nominees, those like, directors, writers, cinematographers, they're great. It's great. But those ones get more of the shine than the below the line. And I think that they should actually stand in solidarity with these people right here. They should actually back them up because, they're, and some people are saying this, these are the rich people. They want that moment, and they maybe they don't care about these people, but I think they should, because without them, they wouldn't be where they are. They wouldn't get that thing at all, because these people made that movie just as much as they did. And they put more work. They broke their backs. They sweated for that, to put all that stuff. So I think these people should say something. Today, I think it was today or yesterday, Pan Oswald said something where he was upset about it. And like he said something about shorts too. And then finally, the shorts categories. I mean, that's where the future of the industry are stepping out into the light. The future directors, writers, actors, and producers you'll be scrambling to honor a decade from now. The men and women who maxed out credit cards, got on their families' last nerves, and hawked their Criterion DVDs to see an insane original vision through to the end deserve encouragement and oxygen. I think it's the wrong way to go and all that. Yeah, I think it's a freaking big disrespect to the hardworking people that put in hard work into their craft and all that for these films and all that, and they should be recognized as much as the other ones. I mean, they are going to get their awards, but doing it pre-recorded, treating them like they're not as important as these people to be on the live thing is stupid, man. And a lot of people, and I didn't even notice this, but there are a lot of people still out there. And what I love about this is knowing that there is still a lot of people out there like me and all that you finally see that, oh yes, some of us still are out there. A lot of us are still out there. And this whole thing that these people didn't give a shit about the Oscars, but us who would watch it and would like argue or defend the Oscars against these type of things before it even got to this part. I mean, seriously, and then you do something like that. I think it's really a disrespect. I was trying to get to my point where I wanted to be done with the Oscars and not, but I can't I can't keep my mouth shut on the situation like this. I'm like, I have to say something on this because I am passionate about filmmaking and passionate about this type of thing. So I have to say something, and it shows you like what my views are. Look right here. A friend explained this well when she said they are trying to capture a demographic that would never watch the Oscars and forgetting about us who do. These are all significant categories. They are significant categories, and I think they should all be presented live on just as much as the other ones. And look, I read this article today. This one was out today. The Vulture, I think, not the Villain. Yeah, the freaking magazine, The Vulture, and they said this: the thinking, the thinking behind these efforts does half a whiff of self-loathing to it, doesn't it? Our choices for Best Picture aren't popular enough. The brilliant technicians who make our movies look good and sound good are too boring for the average viewer. That's stupid, man. You're just trying to kiss ass to these people because they were whining and all that, and now they're trying to grab the freaking views and the people that went to go watch No Way Home, all that money and shit. Because that's what it was about. Like I said earlier, I think these things are just made for like the money sometimes, and these are the people more on the people that are more in charge, but they're thinking more, I think, on the money side and the whole, oh, how could we bring in more people for views? They're not thinking about the craft or the art of all this stuff of the people that brought filmmaking and all that. They're just thinking about the views and how to make it supposedly survive and get more money. I think that's the only thing that it is. And they're trying to kiss ass to these fucking people that are whining about that. Why aren't you giving my freaking Spider-Man an Oscar, or my Hulk or my Captain America movie an Oscar? I'm like, really? You really? Fuck, that doesn't make any sense at all. And so that's the other thing that it says right here. This is something that someone who is angry that a film like The Power of the Dog was nominated for Best Picture over Spider-Man No Way Home is not a person who has ever given a shit about the Oscars. And the Oscars should stop worrying about trying to get that person to watch the Oscars. So yeah, those are things that I think is true, man. Right there, that says a lot. This, and a lot of people it's kind of obvious why this is happening. And I mean, this is a disrespect. I'm furious about it. At first I thought it was funny with the whole I was still kind of mad, but I was like, this is fucking stupid. A fan favorite thing. Really, you're gonna, because it's my favorite movie, I'm gonna freaking say it deserves. I don't even say that. I have favorite movies that probably aren't, but they're just my favorite movies. But I don't go and say, this one should have won Oscar because I thought it was better than the one that was nominated. No, sometimes I just like that one more than the other one, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't that it should have been nominated for Oscar. But yeah, these people right here, these categories, I think they're important. They should be live. They shouldn't be treated like that. Where it's and they did a test. I think they said it today in an article too, because they ended up saying how they had a meeting and things went wrong and people were against it, but still they didn't want to listen to them. And they did a test on it and they like cut half of the shit, condensed it down, which is a disrespect, I think. Uh they should be live just as the other ones too, not freaking pre-recorded then edited in, whichever way they're doing it in that way. So I thought that was stupid of them to do it that way. I mean, I think more famous people should start speaking up. I think I just read that Josh Gad was supposed to host the Oscars. I'm not sure if he's just saying this now because, this is something going on. Uh, but he said that he was supposed to host it, but then when he heard about this, he thought it was wrong or something. Patton Oswalt spoke up. There are some critics that spoke up. I really want more people with more power, like celebrities, to actually speak up on get against this stuff or back these people up that made their films and all that. They should back them up for the achievements that they did with their films and all that. I think it's dumb, man. To freaking just because your movie, the superhero movie, got big at the box office, and because it you fucking want to say that this is a good movie, this is a superhero movie, should be recognized at the Oscars. I'm like, accept your MTV or your People's Choice Award. It's right there already, man. There's nothing, you can't compare the MCU films at all to an Oscar film. And the other thing is, it's like someone said, we don't even right now. It's hard to actually put much into it because we don't even have much, um, a lot as we used to have for the Oscars to for Oscar competition as they call it for like the nominees. They don't give the money to the people that could be making films that are for the Oscars. They're giving the money all to these films that are freaking franchise films and superhero films. And those things, no. I mean, but it seems like it's going to be the Oscars' demise right here. Like, we're going in that way where it's just going to freaking destroy itself, or, it's going to end up turning into the freaking People's Choice Award, MTV Awards Part 3, or whatever you want to call it, into that. So yeah, that's what I think. I'm pissed about it, and I hope they find a way to fix this. And I think they should apologize for what the hell they're doing. And I'm hoping that some big people with and more power actually speak up and defend these people, stand up for them. I wasn't gonna say I was originally gonna do that at Oscar, the beginning of this video. I was gonna do it about that, and then this past week this happened, and I'm like, oh great, now I have to do this, and I'm like, I guess I'm still kind of attached to the Oscars, but it's fun knowing that there are still people out there like me. I think there are people that are complicated, like with me too, where they're like, oh damn, there's a part of me that wants to like, but I'm not gonna keep my mouth shut on this. This is wrong. This is totally wrong. Yeah. The other thing is I was thinking of as I'm mad because sometimes I'm like in the restroom brushing my teeth, looking at the mirror and just thinking about this, and I'm pissed off. And then I'm like, I'm just like, what do you call it? I'm thinking about it. I'm like, this is one of their plans again, where they kind of hype it up or whatever. They make the whole let's do this so they could be buzz around the Oscars. And then at the end, we're just gonna say, like, you know what, we're gonna uh we rethought our decision. Now we're gonna put them back in there and all that, and it's dumb, man. I just freaking hope this whole freaking dumb thing of the Oscars is not gonna be like a whole thing about Spider-Man and people on the stage being, why can't we recognize these films, or someone in a Spider-Man costume. I mean, to me, this all has to do with that dumb thing right there. That's what pisses me off. And these people that have been bragging about it since like years ago, and I always thought it was wrong. I mean, their freaking award show is there, and I think it belongs there too. I mean, I think these other films should be nominated here. They're not those. They haven't done it. And don't get me wrong. I think I have hope. I want there to be one day maybe that there is a superhero that gets nominated for an Oscar, but something that's freaking impressive, something inspiring, something different. Joker seems like it's getting got a little bit closer, but I haven't seen anything of the superhero films to go to that route at all. As I said, I'm a film fan first before I am to like a blockbuster fan or an icon fan and all that. I like blockbuster films. I like superhero films, but I don't want to be freaking just fed this throughout my whole life or throughout a whole year. I mean, before it used to be decent. Now it's like freaking everything's a freaking damn superhero film now. So Yeah, that's all I can say that I can remember. I had to do this last part right here, this bit right here, because I had an issue with some technical issues that I found out when I was in editing. So I might have missed something I said in the original part of the ending of this video because yeah, it didn't pick up my sound. So I had to do this half again, and I had to try to rethink what I said. But yeah, guys. So I mean, yeah, that's my view on the Oscars, on this dumb a fan favorite Twitter thing vote. And then the freaking being disrespectful to these categories right here. These categories actually make up the movies. We wouldn't get the movies that we got without these. A lot of movies that are big and epic out there um are because of these categories here with the hard work that they put into it. So, as I said, I hope people speak up. I hope the big people that have more power actually defend these people in this category and all that. And yeah, man. So that's all that I gotta say. That's my thing for my view on the Oscars. If you guys let me know what you guys think, what you're, if you guys agree with me, if you guys don't, you guys kind of want to open my mind to something else a little bit. But to be honest with you, I'm sticking by what I said, man, because it's true, man. I don't. That's my view on it, and that's where I'm leaving it at because that's what I think, and I will stick up for this because I'm passionate about the film and all that, and cinema and all that. So, yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed my video, please hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.